Okay, good morning. My name is Johnson. I want to walk you through on how to use custom Psychomoto. Now, what this custom Psychomoto does basically is in a situation whereby you don't want to use a Psychomoto that is already defined in the system, you can define your own custom one. Now, what's Psychomoto? Like, for instance, when you open your result, you see stuff like um, cleanliness, industrials, and stuff like that graded on the result. Now, in this situation, you don't want to use that graded stuff. You want to come up with your custom names and the way you want to grade it. So that is when you may have to make use of this custom Psychomoto. And to set it up, the first what you just do is simply you go to Assessment Manager. Under Assessment Manager, you click on Custom Psychomoto. Then when you click on this custom Psychomoto, you have three things that you are going to be setting up. You have Manage Assessment Key, you have a Manage Assessment Category, and you also have Manage Category Content. Now, Assessment Key is the key that you are going to be entering for each of the things you want to assess. For instance, we have key, we have description, and we have the class that is applicable to. That's how it works. So I can say, like, if you score 1, this is what it means in the system. If you score 2, this is what it means. So most times we normally grade it from 1 is the lowest and 5 is the highest. So I can say, like you already have on the screen, you have I entered 1, description is fair, and it's for those in basic class. 2 is average, 3 is good, 4 is very good, 5 is excellent. Now I can define this same thing. I'll just use for all so that it will be applicable to all those in the school. But here I differentiated it for basic, for pre-nursery, nursery, and toddler. So that is what this assessment key does. Then after entering your after the assessment key, the next thing you do is to enter the category. Now the categories you have, you can define different categories for the Psychomoto. You understand? You can enter things like fine motor skills, gross motor skill, practical life experience, sensory education, social behavior, neatness, and these are different categories. And in each of these categories, we are going to be entering what will be displayed under them. In each category, we have different things under them. Like when we go to manage category content, we can now say, for instance, we have a okay, let's say fine motor skills. Under fine motor skills, we enter the content we want. We select the class. For instance, let me use the one that we've entered already to explain this. Now, under Christian religious studies, we have the content can relate the story of Daniel in the lion's den. That is a particular this is what you want to rate. Now, if the person can relate the story of Daniel in the lion's den, very well I can say 5, I can put 4, I can put 3. If he doesn't know how to, if he can't relate with it, I can put maybe 1 or 2 and stuff like that. That is how it is done. But in your own situation, you can say, for instance, let's say what you want to grade is the child comes to school early, stuff like that. You can say you want to grade the child is very neat. So whatever you are grading, you put it here. But you have to remember that this is custom and everything is grouped in a category. So for instance, we can say we want to have a category called sports. Then under the category called sports, we now have can run, can do marching, can jump, can now have different things that you want to grade under sports. So when you want to enter the content here, let's say for instance this is sport. For instance, I can now enter here can run. Let's say it's for basic or it's for all. Then I can enter can play soccer. I can enter these things like that Then as I entered all these things, later on I can now go and be entering scores for each student or for each child based on what they can do. That is how to set this up. Remember, first of all, we have to go through the managed assessment key, where you enter the keys for grading. You enter the categories for different things you want to grade, and then you enter the contents for the category. So that is how this works. But then after entering it, how do we now score it? Where do we see to score it? To be able to score this thing, you have entered the result already. After entering the result, you can now go to result manager. They say go to view result. Yes. Under view results, let me see if I will be able to find any result to use as an example. Oh, what do I use now? Just hold on. Okay, we have result for 2018-2019 JS1 first now, but because we did not define custom category for JS1, you will not be able to enter custom category for custom Psycomoto for it. So what we are going to do now is we are now going to use a secondary to do the example. So under the secondary, I'll enter. We've already entered this. Okay, let's just enter 1. Okay, 1. Let's say fair, and it's for, I will use JS. 2 is average. 3 is good. 4 is very good. And 5 is excellent. So I've defined keys for those in junior secondary. Then managed category. So in this managed category, let me just let me enter sports for JS also. Let me enter okay, let me use only sports so that we can just use it to make the point we want to make. Then under manage category content, I'll select sports and enter can run. Select JS, save. Can play soccer, save. Can swim, save. So let's use these 3 as what we're going to use. For example, then we have under category sports, we have run, play soccer, and swim. So when we now want to, when we get to view result under this secondary, we will be able to enter the scores for these things that we've selected. So we have 2018-2019 here. So as I open here, I will see Psychomoto here because I've added it for this junior class. Then I can now, for the first person, I'll just click. Once I click, it opens the window. Now these are the 3 things I want to rate. 1, this 4, maybe 3, maybe 5. I'll say. That's simple, as simple as that. So when I reload this thing, you see that the ones that I have already saved for is blue. The ones that have not done anything is red. So I can open each and enter the person's score. And if I come back to this one, I will see what I already entered, 435, and this one 453, and this one. So if I have more categories, it will be after this one you list another category, you see the content you want to rate, you rate them as just like that. So and this displays the key that you have defined. 1 is fair, 2 is average, 3 is good, 4 is very good, and 5 is excellent. This is how this works. Now after entering all this in, when you now check your results, you'll be able to see the category that you've created, the custom psychomotor that I've created on the child's result. That's just simply how this thing works.